Hello, my name is Seppo Yrjölä. I'm a professor of Techno-economics in the 6G Flagship program at the University of Oulu. I really appreciate this opportunity to share with you the latest results of our interdisciplinary studies and research in techno-economic systems of 6G. My talk today have 5 acts. First, what is techno-economic system? What are the 6G visions made of? Do we know the forces impacting the 6G development? What will be the role of platforms and ecosystems? And finally, how we create, deliver, and capture value in 6G era. The other day I was browsing my old favorite book, Zen and the Art of Motorcycle Maintenance. In addition to just a great story, I found views on systems thinking that I have not paid attention in my previous reads. If a factory is torn down but the rationality which produces it left standing, then that rationality will simply produce another factory, right? If a revolution destroys a government but the systemic patterns of thought that produce that government are left intact, then those patterns will repeat themselves. Techno-economic research in mobile communication focus on 3 perspectives: technology, business and market, and regulation and policy. Key questions are how to explore and exploit business opportunities, how to create, deliver, and capture value, and how to create competitive advantage. 3 outcomes can be expected from a successful business model. Is it scalable, replicable, and sustainable? Before diving into 6G, let's have a short look at the macroeconomic system dynamics and ask ourselves, what will be the next wave after ICT? There was steam, railway, electrification, automobiles, petrochemicals, various industries within ICT. So what will be next? Is it intelligent system and AI? How do we consider 6G? Do we consider 6G as an evolution within discipline and system boundaries, or more cross-disciplinary as a general purpose technology? High-functioning, dynamic and sustainable 6G system have distinct common characteristics. They are typically resilient, self-organizing, hierarchical. In system thinkings, this means as well complexity and more bottom-up approach from subsystems. Hierarchy, the ability to evolve from the lowest level up and not the other way around. And self-organization, how the system is able to structure itself, creating possibly more complex systems. In the development of any system, we should keep close eye on the potential traps to avoid. Are we searching for own goals? What are the common resources, like for instance spectrum in wireless? Do we have eroding negative goals? How about escalations, and could it be that winner take it all? How about addiction, different policies, regulation, subsidies, rule beating by any of the stakeholders, and possibly, are we seeking really the right goal, satisfying wrong indicators to start with? Let's have a look at the history of visions in the mobile communication towards 6G. Fleming's spark gap transmitter was very noisy, occupying enormous bandwidth and producing interference to all radios nearby. Actually, Marconi was only transmitting SEs, dots in Morse code to start with. His concern was to burn down the whole transmitter in case transmitting dashes requiring more energy. His vision in 19 1907 was to introduce transatlantic communication and to transmit and receive at the same time. Tesla's vision from 1926 resonates so nicely with many of our days 6G visions, right? When wireless is perfectly applied to the whole Earth, will be converted into a huge brain. He shared several other timely visions as well. Video calls envisioned in 1930 are every day. And so is the television newspaper in our mobiles. Tele-eyeglasses are on the market. And so are many of the science fiction gadgets from Star Trek. Though I think the transporter and beam me up Scotty may still take some more time and effort to develop. Several predictions have been made about the number of computers and, let's say, mobile phones devices needed in the future. In this case, a leading US cellular operator did not see much of the future for mobile toys in 1980. Another favorite book of mine, science fiction novel Snow Crash, coined the concept of metaverses already in 1992. So how we at the University of Oulu and CWC, how we are envisioning the future? From always best connected, next 50 billion things, metaverses and digital twins. In futures research and scenario planning, it is essential to map basic trends, drivers, forces, as well as uncertainties, and do this from multiple perspectives: political, economic, social, technological, legal, and environmental. We should ask ourselves that what is the most valuable resource in our times? Naturally, after time for us humans. The most valuable resource is no longer oil, but data. Spectrum is the real estate of wireless communication and mobile communications. Location, 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 with varying requirements driven by the use case and business model. Is it the common resource in 6G with scarcity and high valuation? 6G is expected to break down legacy silos across disciplines, whether it's technology, business models, regulation, policies, and standardization. In the ongoing platform game, incumbent mobile communication industry will be challenged by the multi-layered, multi-sided, multi-stakeholder, adjacent and born platforms. All this driven by business model innovations and novel actors entering the business. With platformization and softwarization, the connectivity layer will become converged with the computing in technology, business, and regulation. And all this in cloud-native, cloud continuum way. In addition to data, AI algorithms will be absolute elements in the 6G system across platform layers. Trust is the glue in every digital platform and ecosystem, such as 6G we are discussing today. Will the platforms in the 6G era stay vertical and centralized, type of protecting the turf, or more likely be loosely coupled multi-agent systems, possibly built on Web 3.0 or distributed trust and ledger technologies? Localization. Hierarchy is the ability to evolve from the lowest level up, to create larger systems, subsystems within systems and zones. In the local self-organizing networks, hierarchy, modularity, and local interactions will be utilized to complement vertical loose coupling and control. Innovation engineering platforms will be increasingly merged with different type of transaction platforms, marketplaces for resources, services, capabilities, and applications. Do we really know what we humans want and need in this context? Our wants, dreams, and aspirations. In developing 6G with usage scenarios, use cases, values, different type of requirements, have we actively listed and listened to the Zoomers and Alphas, the younger generation? What do they want versus the voices of NPCs, non-playable characters or boomers? Can't we anticipate a transformation towards empowered individuals and communities who not only consume but increasingly customize and develop from motivational and critical perspectives, having human agency, oversight, and control over data, technology, personal matters, and societal issues? Ability to control 6G networks within application will become transformative from technology, regulatory, and economic business perspectives. How about machines? Do we really know what are their requirements and how to meet these requirements? And how to interact with them? Human-machine interface technologies will become bottleneck assets in digital platforms like future 6G. Another science fiction movie of my favorite, HAL was a forerunner of Siri and IBM. HAL was in charge of all the operations of the Discovery 1 spacecraft. HAL said, "I'm sorry, Dave, I'm afraid I can't do that." HAL calmly said to Dr. Bowman, who was locked out from the spacecraft. With the virtual representation, we can add the context business model layer on top of discussed connectivity, computing, and data. Another perspective to consider is the importance of triple bottom line of sustainability, consisting environmental, social, and economic. It has increased in exploring novel value creation and capture models, many times called sustainable business model creation. United Nations ITUR introduced 4 overarching design principles to guide the 6G research, development, and innovation. Sustainability, connecting the unconnected, omnipresent intelligent, and security and resilience. In the current geopolitical and geotechno-economical turbulence times, how do we define business and service interfaces between the entities from different actors across boundaries for systemic, sustainable technology innovations as well as business model innovations? We adopted Futures Research causal layered analysis method to explore what is behind commonly agreed 6G. Use cases, technologies, capabilities, performance indicators. We have all read from white papers and different strategies and visions. Could the difference in worldviews have an impact on how 6G will emerge? We found examples of empowered world, regulated, efficient, networked, world views, stable protective world views, and innovative competitive world views. Some examples in this slide. Discussed trends, forces, and uncertainties highlight the importance of cross and interdisciplinary systems thinking in 6G research, development, and innovation. Let's next explore the role of platforms and ecosystem in 6G. How should we define platform in this context? Innovation, or shall we call engineering platform with elements and interfaces, create value by enabling technological and service innovations. Transaction platforms, on the other hand, they focus on matching supply and demand, facilitating exchange and interactions. All the platforms, they form a complementary ecosystem around them. Business ecosystems, they facilitate co-specialized collaboration, value co-creation, and value sharing. In addition to complementarities, platforms introduce externalities, positive and negative spillovers. Let's explore how the discussed 4Cs can be mapped into 5C business model framework across connectivity, cloud computing, content, context, and commerce layers. We are moving in mobile communications evolutions from innovation platforms towards transaction platforms with 5G towards business ecosystems based on innovation and transaction platforms. Companies are adopting a hybrid business model across layers. Mobile communication industry evolving from connectivity level up, while big techs and web scales from commerce and context as a starting point. 6G as an innovation and transaction platform form complementary ecosystem in technologies, innovation, products, production, services, and policies. Supply and demand side externalities or spillovers are found with innovation, collaboration, consumptions, and various social aspects. Let's next then explore more in details how the value is created and potential constraints in value creation, delivery, and capture in 6G platforms and business ecosystems. As an innovation platform, 6G creates value via coordinating, standardization, interoperability of components and complements, system integration, and how it's expanded, and how to exchange knowledge for complementarities within the ecosystem. Potential constraints in value creation, value delivery, and value capture are typically related to innovation spillovers and system failures, functional value architecture failure, how the governance is done for interfaces and externalities, and compatibility on application and standard. One problem could be decentralized adoption of technology and huge variant count of services and technologies and products. Naturally, fragmentation of common standard is one of the constraints. As a transaction platform, 6G creates value via coordinating and facilitating collaboration. How to bridge and match supply and demand of resources, capabilities, services, applications. How to preserve incentives for product and service complementers. And then how to solve problems which typically arise around transaction cost or asymmetric information. Potential value constraints are related to consumption externalities from customer, user, developer side, market failures, and unbalanced value and incentive sharing between the platform owner, complementers, and side actors. As a platform-based business ecosystem, 6G creates value via facilitating inter-firm collaboration. Value is created on how to form an integrated solution, creating value for customers, doing the problem-solution fit, how to do the co-specialization between firms, related to data, how to access data, aggregate data, control the use of data, avoiding moral free riding, preventing bottlenecks, whether it's materials, different components, capabilities, complements, and how to structure interdependency of technology and products. At the same time, there are potential value constraints that are related to social and cooperation externalities. The overall value network could fail. How to cope with shared assets, common resources. How to create a joint value proposition that is joint towards and fulfills the customer needs. How about competition and competitive integrity challenges? And then how to do the governance, decision making and control. How to keep it simple and coordinated. A business model describes how an organization creates, delivers, and captures value based on particular value proposition. Business model elements, opportunity, value, and advantage are antecedents to business model innovation. As well, they describe how business firms do and how they do business. The expected outcomes of successful business model are scalability, replicability, and sustainability. And in this context, sustainability as well including economic, environmental, and social perspectives. We analyzed the differences between value creation and capture and profiting from technological innovations across system architecture layers in the mobile communication context. There's a real difference in profiting from innovation between radio access network layers, architecture, and application layers. In the lower run layers, you can find standard essential patents, standardized elements and services, in-house development, and technology innovation-driven value creation. Typically, the value of standard essential patents is concentrated on lower layers by 80 or even 90%. Then if we look at the applications and service layers, we found more proprietary services, open source use and contributions, and business model driven innovations. Value transformations were found as well in exploring changes in platforms and ecosystem through the lenses of business model. Vertical business models in kind of protected, closed environment, utilizing discrete technologies were found in previous generations all the way to 4G. There's a value creation economy, incumbent-born platforms, product service platforms, and discrete technologies. Towards 5G, it get this kind of perspectives from web scalers and tech giants. How you do horizontalized business model, starting from value capture thinking, platform-born adjacent. And in addition to innovation platform, you focus on transaction platform, how you bridge and match supply and demand, have multi-sided market platform, ecosystem orchestrator role. As well, the technologies like what is now used in 5G are more enabling technologies. They are not industry specific, but they are used widely as well, horizontally in different other industries. Moving towards 6G has kind of ingredients from both the innovation ecosystem and transaction ecosystem. We call this a platform-based ecosystemic business model, kind of oblique business model. It has the value sharing economy. There are new type of platforms in addition to incumbent-based or adjacent platform called born platforms. There will be a platform, market guardians related to marketplaces and commerce layer, as well as the technologies are more considered as a general purpose technologies. They are contributing to north-south and southbound interfaces. They are evolving. There's a lot of innovation involved, and they are kind of supporting and serving different customer and business segments. In platform-based ecosystemic business model, attention should be paid to innovation, openness, complementarities and externalities, competition and cooperation, organization and governance, economies of scale and scope, and the type of business model across these 5 different Cs. The logic of multi-layered and multi-sided platform is on value co-creation for all stakeholders, co-capture via sharing and distributing the revenue between ecosystemic and ecosystem members. The business model concept of ecosystem stakeholders over the product and service life cycle in the co-evolution of innovation, collaboration, and competition. To summarize the key findings of 6G as a techno-economic system, multi-layered and multi-sided platforms and ecosystem, they are creating new venues for organizing value processes, and expanding the range of available business opportunities. Secondly, the platform-based ecosystemic business model considers 6G as an emerging general-purpose technology that adopts value-sharing economy and give rise to novel born platforms and platform market guardians. Emergent ability to control 6G network within application. This will become transformative from technology, regulatory, and business perspectives. The introduced layered 5C business model typology, introducing connectivity, cloud, content, context, and commerce, prototypical models, will be used widely across different stakeholders. A modular ACID value framework consists algorithms, components, interfaces, and data, helping us to study and research how the value is created. Appropriability potential is changing from traditional mechanisms of isolating and excluding via patents, trademarks, copyrights, contacts, and tacitness, more towards transactional, leverage-oriented process, where different mechanisms moderate collaborative actions and interactive, open disclosure-oriented approach, with a wide use of innovation and knowledge sharing. I hope that our findings will be of use to assist in the development of research and innovation strategies, policy instruments, and regulation, to develop a human-centric, empowering, and sustainable future mobile communication era. Thank you for your time and attention.